Alright, so here we go again. This is with the next question. This is going to be Insane-Alchemist. It's a she, right?
What? No, Insane-Alchemist is a dude.
Oh my god, he's a guy, that's right. Oh god, fanboy.
Yeah, anyway. Oh my god, there are actual fanboys in the fandom now.
Yay! We love you forever! We'll totally sex you up if you come down here. Not really.
Really? You're gonna get on a 14-year-old? Seriously?
Okay, anyway. He's got 3 questions that we can roll into one, and this is actually really good because I know a lot of people in a lot of fandoms have this issue. Have you ever felt artist depression or character's block? How do you deal with it? How can you make characters that are so unique and there's so many of them? And what is your character creation process, and are there any ideas that you've had that you've been wanting to brainstorm? We'll start with the beginning. I personally, my life is writer's block. End of story. I had this issue. I don't know if you've read the second part to What is Your Passion, but I have this issue where I don't do well when I'm trying to write out full things or even drawing. I just kind of start it out and then stop, and then that idea kind of fades away and another one comes in, it starts and it stops. When I do get an idea though, it hits me and I have to finish it. So, which is kind of odd because I always rail on frickin' Hannah all the time. Like, why do you have to finish this? We gotta go to bed. I think your line art can wait another night. And she's like, no, it can't. It has to be done tonight. So, in the writing aspect, I live writer's block. Anything that I do get done, I have to bar myself away from society, even Hannah. Yeah. I take my computer, I move the monitor to a different desk, I slump on the couch, I put in my headphones and I just write, and it sounds like a machine gun going off in the house.
And it's actually really nice because, I mean, we're
always together, so it's kind of a nice little thing.
We know to leave each other alone, because it was a problem that I had with people that lived with me beforehand, was that
you kept getting interrupted.
I would always get interrupted, and they never left me alone, and I really kid you not, I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't, and this was to a grown-ass adult people, but I couldn't take a shower, I couldn't do anything, it seemed like, without getting interrupted every 5 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I you know...
And we have these things like
we can just sit down in the same room apart from each other and work on what we have to work on and get it out of our systems, and it's okay, it's cool.
Yeah, because
I love it.
She has one headphone. Because I mean, if you work at a call center, you realize that you have one headphone on your left ear, and so you're hearing,
or your right ear, depending on what.
Yeah, what constantly you're hearing it, and so you kind of get into this thing where when you put your headphones in, only one goes in, unless you actually have a set of the DJ headphones, and even those you slide back over one ear so you can still hear the other person.
Yeah,
but sometimes if we're really into something, I'll be talking to Hannah. She wouldn't have heard a single word I said because she's got both headphones in, and I'll do the exact same thing. You'll see Hannah gesturing wildly, and I'm not hearing a damn word. And it's really funny because the way my monitor is set up, when I move it, she's blocked out of my view completely.
Yeah, she can't even see me. So I'll be over here ranting. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, if you think of that scene where it shows Mr. Krabs ranting in the background and you just hear dolphin noises, it's always what I think of when she says that I'm doing that.
It's kind of very similar. It's very similar. But in addition to that, I'm sitting here writing, and I've got this angry look on my face because when I'm writing, I always look angry for some reason.
And most people are concerned about this. Me, it's normal. I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah. She's like, what is she doing? Every time at work, I'll pull up a notepad because normally I use it for customers' numbers. But I'll be sitting there typing away. I'll get people that come over. Are you writing a book? And she's like, are you okay? They'll be like, are you okay? You look angry. And I'm like, no. This is how I always look when I write. Leave me alone. It normally means don't bug me. I figure if I look angry, nobody will bug me. But people do. And
meanwhile, people always ask me if I'm sad or what the hell's going on with me because I'm always making faces.
She has a comic dedicated to when she's drawing. She makes the faces of the characters she's drawing. So you have to imagine if she's drawing porn at work, you can only imagine the faces she's making.
I totally have drawn stitch porn at work, and I totally make faces.
And she doesn't realize it. She'll be over here doing. I look over at her face, and I'll be like, "What are you doing?"
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. So I mean. With that, we really, but I mean, she's behind my monitor, so I hear the dolphin noises. Okay, I hear the dolphin noises over my amazing music, and then I see hands in the air, arms in the air, over the top of my monitor. Granted, she's still in her seat, about 6 feet away, So she's got, all I see her hands waving around, and she's doing this and that and
I rant a lot, so...
And so I'm just looking at her hands, and I'm like, she's ranting again. And I go back to writing, and I look up, she's still ranting. And finally, after the song ends, I pull one out, and I lean around the monitor. I'd be like, did you get it out of your system yet?
And I'm like,
I didn't hear a
damn
word
it!
you
And then
said.
she troll faces and goes, you mad?
You mad?
It's essentially what our relationship is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm trying to load up Sigma's answer here. That way we can get it up on the site. But, let's see. How do you deal with it? For me, like I said, I block myself off when I get an idea. I don't really deal with it. I just kind of wait for an idea to hit me, and then I just run with it. All the other ideas I can either fit into a book somewhere and come back to them later or do whatever. But most of the time, music. Music is kind of a really big thing. Once I hear music, if I hear a particular song and it gets me into a particular mood, boom, 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 there I go. Off in my own little world. And then I'm ready to go.
Me,
You on the other hand.
You already
You
know
you like melt into sludge. And you look like you've been on PMS for months at a time, driving around, doodling eyes in your sketchbook.
I basically
You look like the most depressed person on the planet.
When Alchemist, you I'm sure you read the reply that I posted in your thing about this. You should have a thread about this on the forum. Last year I hit a major artistic block and had a lot of problems because there was nobody around me that did art. There was nobody I could talk to that did art. There was nobody that would share art. There was nobody. That was just it. I had nobody. And like my best friend from high school that I used to share my artwork with we'd stopped talking to one another. My husband didn't do art anymore. He used to do art in high school. My roommate didn't really give too much of a shit unless it was video game related. And and everybody at work, it was just like, oh, that's neat. And they didn't really do any artwork.
That's neat.
And the few people that did do artwork were actually ones coming to me for help and pointers. So I had nobody to learn from. And I had a tablet, I had Photoshop, but I wasn't getting any better with it. And then, of course, I derp into Rattles, and she starts teaching me how to use Photoshop. And it was kind of awesome, because now I had somebody I could share my artwork with.
That's a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't share the artwork with you. She smashes you down with it. You don't get one link. No. You know there's people that are reading cracked articles, they have to send you every link they're reading. And every picture on 4chan, that's what she is with her artwork.
I can't help it. I like to share and I like to do an exchange of ideas. A lot. I mean, it's to me the biggest inspiration and influence you can get is from the people around you, from the things around you, just from different ideas. Different people are going to have different ideas and different concepts and different points of view, and it helps so much. I mean, when I was in art class, I loved it back in high school because of the fact that I could sit in a room full of people drawing and we could exchange ideas, and I miss that a lot. So this was one of the reasons why I like DA, and that that there are some things on DA where people do this. I mean, not everybody does, obviously, and some people just kind of shy away from that altogether for some strange-ass reason. But to me, it's a great idea. And I had hit this block. I was in my bed sobbing one day because, like she said, I do get really depressed if I can't draw.
God, she gets so depressed. You would have think somebody in her family died.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like her sketch. Oh my God. She left a sketchbook at work one day. I kid you not. She had a panic attack for an hour until we finally decided, let's go back to work. The work center's still open. We can go look for it.
It had finished sketches of Juilliard and Carnegie in it. You cannot tell me those would have been pretty much a big loss.
She was flailing around, and we go into the work center, and where's that? On her desk as usual, and even one of her coworkers who sat right next to her even had the courtesy to put it in the box where all the rest of the puzzles and the books and stuff were. So she knew exactly where it is. But she had a panic attack. And I was like, we'll check for it in the morning. No. And she would be like, okay, fine. She'll sit at her computer. Then she'll start freaking. Because it had finished sketches.
I remember what sketches would be in it, and I would freak out. I can't stand the idea of my sketchbooks getting destroyed. I can't stand the idea.
There was one day she forgot her sketchbooks at home, didn't take them into work. She was so miserable.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. I couldn't even role play with her.
I have to draw. I have to have something in front of me to draw with. It's yeah. I mean,
it's pretty bad.
But
your husband thought you had an addiction to the computer.
But no, I hit this point. The thing that I remember the most is I was sobbing in bed, and I know that sounds so dumb and emo kid, but I was really upset. I had hit this point in my life where I had nobody. I mean, I didn't have any friends other than my husband and my roommate and the few people I knew at work and my parents, and which Rattles can tell you my parents are not exactly the most encouraging people on the planet. So here I am laying here in bed, I'm upset, and my husband comes into the room and he says, "Hey, what's wrong?" Because he's thinking he's done something wrong.
As usual, it was always about him.
And I'm like, "No, it's not you. I explained, I'm feeling really artistically lonely. I really need somebody I can share my ideas with, and I explained to him that, people at work are coming to me for help, and that they're not on the same level of art as I am, and that's not."
It's not egotistic.
That's not egotistic. An egotistic judgment. I'm just saying the people, they hadn't had any formal training. They hadn't been to school and taken any classes on it. And I mean, I can even show you examples because one of them is on DA. I know he wouldn't mind for me to show it as an example because I've helped him improve actually. But the people that they drew like a middle school level or an elementary school level, and they would admit this. They even said, I don't draw that much, and nobody had quite the same grasp of anatomy and stuff, and there wasn't a lot of people that were there that were even better than me. There was one girl who was, and she wasn't even working there anymore, and she was kind of an egotist about her artwork, like to the point of overcharging for it. And when I say overcharging, I mean, like
$30.
Well, no. She did a wall mural for somebody and got halfway through and then upped her price halfway through, like a ridiculous amount, and pretty much demanded. And yeah, it was a big snafu and caused a lot of problems. No. Yeah, you don't change your pricing in the middle of a project. That's a bad idea. But pretty much most of the people there, don't draw, and they don't do character design, they don't do ideas, and they don't do concepts like this. And so here I was sitting here with all of these, and this was back when I was still doing my original comic, all of these ideas, all of these concepts, and just nobody to bounce it off of, nobody to help balance me out, nobody to help me come up with how I wanted this to work. So I was really...
And derp, 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 here comes Rattles!
Yeah, because I got into the fandom, and then I met up with Rattles again, and then the next thing I know...
I should have never IM'd you.
Because she encouraged me, she said you should draw backgrounds more. And mind you, people have been telling me this for ages, but I was like, I'll do it for Rattles, why not? So I drew the first picture with the background, and it's like Brad and Nine, and they're sitting there, and Nine is telling Brad his story. And everybody who sees this is like, Brad looks like he is so in love with him. I'm like...
You have no idea.
Well, I'm not, but, pretty much I drew up this picture, and she was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" And then
she drew it for me.
I had no idea how to multiply layers in Photoshop, so I could put color.
She was such a Photoshop nerd.
So I could put color so I could put color underneath it, underneath my pencil at work. And so she's like, "You don't know how to do that?" She showed me how to do it, and the first thing I did was went and colored the damn thing. So I was like, "Yes, I can color it without having to eat the whole thing. Yes!"
See, she gets orgasms whenever she learns a new artistic technique. It's kind of amazing.
It is kind of amazing, I gotta say.
Oh my god, Sigma's answer is at 73%.
But I was so excited about this. And so basically learning new techniques broke me out of it. Learning new techniques, finding somebody that could bounce things off of. And I mean, people...
Bounce! No, when you threw the ball, I went into the wall with it. Are you kidding me?
And I mean, it seems like that's really hard to do, but honestly, it's not. You just got to go out there and talk to people. And I mean, ask people if they'll do brainstorming questions with you. And let me think. All right, let's see. As far as the other things to break you out, look everywhere. Read.
Hell, when I was in a slump, even for writing, every time I go to a bookstore, I would go to Walden Books, I would go to Borders, I would go to Barnes & Noble. I intentionally go to the artist section, and I'll yank off those books where they're like visual interpretations, and they're just, full of kaleidoscopes type shit. Because back in 3rd grade in our art class, this was the only art class I had ever taken. I've never taken another art class since.